When we think of the Tyrannosaurus Rex, our minds immediately conjure the image of the ultimate movie monster, a towering, scaly beast with a roar that shakes the foundations of the earth. We've grown up with this creature as the face of prehistory, the undisputed king of the dinosaurs. But if you were to actually step back 66 million years into the late Cretaceous period, you wouldn't just find a big predator. You would find a biological anomaly. The truth is, almost nothing about the T-Rex was normal by the standards of other carnivorous dinosaurs. While most theropods followed a specific evolutionary blueprint for tens of millions of years, the T-Rex decided to throw the rulebook away and rewrite it entirely. To understand why this animal was so bizarre, we have to look past the pop culture icon and into the staggering, bone-crushing reality of its biology. The first thing that sets the T-Rex apart is its sheer structural philosophy. Most large meat-eating dinosaurs, like the Allosaurus or the Giganotosaurus, were built like elegant, oversized knives. They were relatively lean, built for speed, and possessed skulls full of blade-like teeth designed to slice through flesh and cause their prey to bleed out. They were high-precision hunters. The T-Rex, however, was built like a tank. It was significantly heavier than other theropods of similar length. An adult T-Rex like the famous Sioux or Scotty weighed in at a staggering 8 to 9 tons. This wasn't just fat, it was dense, powerhouse musculature and heavy bone. While other predators were slicing, the T-Rex was smashing. Its teeth weren't thin blades. They were thick, serrated railroad spikes, reinforced to withstand immense pressure. This is the first major abnormality. The T-Rex didn't just want to eat you. It wanted to erase you, bones and all. This leads us to the T-Rex's most terrifying feature, its bite. In a natural world, bite force is usually a trade-off. If you want a bite that can crush bone, you usually sacrifice speed or range of motion. But the T-Rex evolved a skull that was a masterpiece of biological engineering. Most dinosaurs had kinetic skulls, meaning the bones had some wiggle room to help absorb the shock of a struggling prey animal. The T-Rex went the opposite direction. Its skull was largely fused and rigid. This rigidity allowed it to funnel every ounce of muscle power directly into its jaws without the skull buckling under the pressure. We're talking about a bite force of roughly 12,000 pounds per square inch, the highest of any terrestrial animal to ever live. It didn't just kill its prey. It performed what paleontologists call puncture pull feeding. It would bite down, shattering the spine or pelvis of a triceratops, and then rip back with its massive neck muscles, taking chunks of bone and meat the size of a microwave oven with it. No other theropod in history could process a carcass this way. But a predator is nothing without its senses, and here again, the T-Rex departs from the norm. If you look at the skull of a typical large carnivore, the eyes are usually positioned on the sides of the head. This provides a wide field of view, perfect for spotting movement across a plain, but it lacks depth perception. The T-Rex, however, had forward-facing eyes. This gave it binocular vision similar to a hawk or a human, but on a much grander scale. Research suggests that the T-Rex's vision was actually better than a modern eagle's, allowing it to see objects clearly from miles away. It could judge distances with pinpoint accuracy, a trait usually reserved for high-level mammalian predators or birds of prey. This wasn't a scavenger wandering aimlessly. This was a calculated, visual hunter that could track its target with high-definition clarity. And if you managed to hide from its sight, you wouldn't be able to hide from its nose. The olfactory bulbs in a T-Rex's brain, the parts responsible for smell, were massive. Proportionally, they were larger than almost any other dinosaur. It is estimated that a T-Rex could smell a carcass or a living herd from several miles away, possibly even better than a bloodhound. When you combine eagle-eyed vision with a world-class sense of smell, you get a predator that is biologically impossible to surprise. It was an apex predator that possessed the sensory toolkit of a specialist, despite being the size of a city bus. Then we have to address the elephant in the room, the arms. They've been the subject of countless jokes and memes, but in the context of the T-Rex's abnormality, they make perfect sense. Evolution is a game of trade-offs. As the T-Rex's head became larger and more heavily armored to facilitate that massive bite force, the front of its body became incredibly heavy. To prevent the animal from tipping forward, it needed a counterbalance. The tail served part of this purpose, but the other part of the solution was to reduce the weight of the forelimbs. However, small does not mean weak. While these arms couldn't reach the T-Rex's mouth, each arm was powered by muscles capable of lifting several hundred pounds. Some scientists believe they were used to grapple with struggling prey at close quarters, would help the animal push itself off the ground after a nap. They weren't evolutionary leftovers. They were a specialized compromise that allowed the T-Rex to carry the most powerful head in natural history. Perhaps the most not normal thing about the T-Rex, however, was its brain. For a long time, dinosaurs were dismissed as sluggish, dim-witted lizards. But recent CT scans of T-Rex brain cases have revealed a surprisingly high encephalization quotient. This means its brain was much larger than expected for a reptile of its size. While it wasn't solving calculus, the T-Rex likely possessed a level of intelligence, social behavior, and problem-solving ability that far exceeded its rivals. There is even mounting evidence that they may have hunted in family groups or packs. Imagine not just one multi-ton super predator, but a coordinated unit of them. The idea of a smart T-Rex changes everything we know about the dynamics of the Cretaceous landscape. The way a T-Rex grew up was also an outlier. Its life cycle was a frantic race against time. A baby T-Rex was a lanky, leggy creature, likely covered in a coat of downy feathers for insulation. During its teenage years, it underwent one of the most extreme growth spurts in the animal kingdom, gaining as much as 5 pounds a day. During this phase, the juvenile T-Rex looked and acted nothing like the adult. It was built for pure speed, filling the niche of a medium-sized, agile predator. This is a phenomenon called ontogenetic niche partitioning. Essentially, the T-Rex was so dominant that it didn't leave room for other species of medium-sized carnivores to exist. The teenagers took the small, fast prey, and the adults took the armored giants. The T-Rex didn't just sit at the top of the food chain. It occupied several rungs of it simultaneously as it aged. Finally, we have to consider its environment. The T-Rex lived in a world of monsters. It shared its home with the 3-horned Triceratops and the living fortress known as Ankylosaurus. These weren't easy targets. They were some of the most well-defended herbivores to ever walk the earth. The T-Rex had to be not normal because its prey was not normal. To hunt a creature with 3-foot horns or a tail club that could shatter a predator's legs, you couldn't just be a slightly bigger lizard. You had to be a specialized killing machine with a bite force to crack armor, the vision to see a threat coming, and the bulk to withstand a counterattack. When we look at the T-Rex, we aren't just looking at the king of the dinosaurs because it was the biggest or the loudest. We call it the king because it represents a peak of evolutionary engineering that has never been repeated. Since the day the asteroid hit 66 million years ago, the Earth has never seen another land predator that combined that specific set of traits. The binocular vision of a hawk, the nose of a hound, the intelligence of a social carnivore, and a bite force that defies the laws of biology. The T-Rex was a one-off, a magnificent freak of nature that proved that sometimes the only way to survive in an extreme world is to become the most abnormal thing in it. It wasn't just a dinosaur. It was the ultimate answer to the question of how powerful a terrestrial predator could truly become. And that is why, millions of years later, we are still obsessed with the king.